From the stars, the Genestealer Cult come. The four-armed goat boy will consume all. Genestealer Cult, you ready to dive in? Genestealer Cult. They are the jerks that live down in the hives and try to subvert the Imperium for an unknown reason to themselves. They just think they're part of this crazy cult, and they don't understand that they're basically setting themselves up to be eaten by the Tyranid biomass in the future. But hey, you know, while it's there, you're hanging out with a group, you got your gang of friends, you might gain another arm or two, it looks like you lose all your hair, which kind of is annoying, and you get a real pale, pasty skin tone, but hey, that's okay, who needs the sun? That's the Genestealer Cult for you. This is an army of characters. There is so many characters. Most of them got tweaked, got better. A lot of them got more powerful. There's this whole thing where you pick an HQ choice and you get a free character, along with something different as a not a free character, but doesn't take a battlefield role. The Patriarch is pretty nutty. There's some crazy setups with him where he basically ignores everyone around them to come get you, and he's fast. There's other ones where he can make an assault. He makes a normal move of 6 inches and then assaults you, so he can get even closer and, you know, declare everything else from there. So that's pretty nutty to ensure. He hits like a ton of bricks and he casts spells. So he really seems like a scary monster that you see in those video games or Space Hulk or anything else where they're coming down there and smashing the crap out of you. All the other characters are pretty good too. Everything kind of got a boost up. The leader guy is pretty powerful with his, you know, blade does damage, everything does damage. He can do meticulous calculations. He can be a better planner. He can reset guys up and everything else. So he seems powerful. There's a ton of protection units. There's a ton of little options. There's a sniper that just hits and hits you automatically, which is pretty nutty. There's a lot of those little options. It's hard to say what exactly is the best. I mean, my favorite is the Patriarch because that model is awesome. Yeah, it's a bunch of gribbly little guys led by a bunch of crazy cult leaders to tell them what to do. So that's the best kind of stuff of this one. A lot of this army is going to be about how you can kind of show up all over the table. So combo wise, you're going to look at anything that has a heavy amount of movement and ability to get on objective or hold stuff. A lot of the games are allowing you to be anywhere on the tabletop. So I think this is a pretty powerful, pretty interesting thing. And that's what you're gonna have to worry about the combos, that you always have to worry that if you don't have something supported enough or you don't have your wrap set up enough, something's gonna get you and all of a sudden come out from the ground or come out from the woodwork and all of a sudden shoot you, flamer you, assault you, punch you, cast a spell on you. There's all kinds of things. So this is going to be an army that's going to confound and be everywhere. It does make me think that it might be a little bit more difficult to play since you really have to know the table, know where you need to go to do your damage. So we'll see. It also makes me feel like those units and those armies that will keep you at bay, or options that keep you at bay, might be really powerful for this. So we'll have to wait and see. It's just it's a pretty nutty little book of just monsters and gribblies everywhere. Meta-wise, it's going to be hard to see. Like, this is always the hardest book to truly balance in the meta. Having armies that can show up everywhere and be aggressive can always be a problem when they're too aggressive and too much damaging. Everything seems like some stuff might be kind of expensive, so I don't know. And they wear t-shirts and they have 1 wound apiece. Stuff on there, so I'm sure there's something powerful there. There seems to be some laser stuff and some weapon damaging stuff, so you might have this army that will pop up, shoot a lot of damage out at you, and then have some psychic backing to be a problem. Anything super tough or has enough saves can spike in a direction that can maybe ignore it, so it could be a problem for them. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm kind of be interested to see how they fare against Dark Eldar, which is kind of a assault army, which means they can kind of show up and show there and go after the weak stuff that's hidden in the back and maybe remove stuff off objectives. It would be interesting to actually kind of see them go against Tyranids, because they can usually cover the table and kind of keep them from being able to get out there, but utilizing their ambush markers and everything else, they keep kind of their deployment zones free and everything else might be really neat. So it's kind of an interesting thing. We'll see. The big kind of rules is crossfire and expose. So crossfire is if a unit which crossfire shoots something and causes 5 or more hits, or something without extra damage causes a hit, the unit is considered crossfire. And so once it's crossfire, everything else with other crossfire hitting it has +1 to hit, which is pretty powerful with a range attack. If the unit is exposed, which means that it's been there is a unit that can shoot through it that has a crossfire token on it, a unit shoots at it, and it is able to pass a line through the unit shooting, through the unit, and then hits a crossfire unit directly to it. Now that unit's considered exposed, which means that now it has +1 to wound. So you can start getting these scattering of +1 wound, +1 hit, +1 wound, which can be powerful. I don't know how often exposed is going to be something on there. Crossfire will definitely happen because it's just you just got to hit with them. And adding any kind of like we all know how powerful +1 to hit is army-wide, a la orcs. Freebooters, which does a similar thing where if something explodes, everyone gets +1 to hit or dies or anything else. So this could be powerful. It's kind of locked into units that you have to crossfire. So you basically have to hit a unit, make sure that unit gets hit, make sure the stuff can happen on it, and then you can start scattering up. Luckily, it's put on a minimum 5 hits, so it's almost like you have to hit 5 marker lights. But way the army's set up with a ton of lasgun options, so you can kind of sit there and just throw fire into it and everything else. I'm still not sure how good crossfire is going to be, if they have the weight of fire to make it worthwhile. If they have enough units where crossfiring a unit and exposing a unit will actually happen. A lot of players, you don't end up seeing a unit kind of not exposed in the backfield until later in the game, and by that time you might be too high up on points. We'll just have to wait and see. So that's kind of it's a much harder book to really see how it's going to fare until you really start taking down and building armies and see how many models you have available to you. Because it's, again, a horde army, so it's going to be a lot of stuff on there, and you might not have nearly as much as you need to make the horde army work. Oh, and ambush is back too as well, and you can go underground as well. Ambush is the same kind of token system we had before, which the book gave a bunch of tokens, which I don't have here. Oh my god, look at these things. As you can tell, they have one side is crossfire, one side is ambush, which is neat. So, and you got a ruler. The other odd thing in all this is there's some deep strike deployment that is 8 inches, not 9, which I think is very interesting to do an 8-inch charge, because there's all kinds of pluses to charge and other options as well. I don't know if I'm a new player, if I'd pick this up, because it's going to be a hard army to play. It's also an expensive army because you're going to need a lot of stuff. The other interesting thing on it was Genestealers are 10 max in the unit, which I thought was interesting, because normally we used to see them in the 20s and not so much anymore. The book as a whole seems like it's designed to confuse and confound an opponent as stuff happens everywhere, things go everywhere, your units get cross-fired up, they're all of a sudden exposed, which means more damage on there, so it's kind of like a weird marker light system that basically, as you start getting crossfired or getting cover on there, other people get more bonuses to hit you and damage you. So that seems pretty interesting and kind of a neat setup. So like you can also make your own cult in here, which is neat. It chains off the main cult, which has the rules and World of Trades options, and then you just remove their little extra rules and you make your own. I kind of think this system is interesting because you basically get to add up extra rules to equal 4, because all of the ones are given a point total, which I think is neat. I always like the ability to make your own stuff, because it's just a neat option if you want to make your own cult. You know, cult of the Goat Boy, or Goat Boy is awesome. You know, if you want to do that, it's not like too far off what I had before, which I think is cool. And so if you're used to how you play it and you want to play it, you will be continuing that direction with extra rules, extra options, because there's a ton of stratagems. Well, that is the Genestealer Cult book. This is Goat Boy for Bell Lost Souls. If you liked what I talked about, why don't you watch the Custodes little blurb on it and see that, and check out my articles in the week. Talk to you later. Have a good day.